We're talking to John McArdle, Mayor of Independence. John, glad to have you with us today.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here in Bend today to meet with other city representatives from around the state.
What are the issues affecting the cities today? Budget's got to be number one.
Well, budget is one of those that we're trying to figure out collectively, learning from each other how to most effectively operate and provide the services that our cities need, the citizens in our service areas need, whether it be police, fire, the whole madrigal of services. So yeah, we're working on those kinds of things.
So you're in a situation where you need to continue providing existing services, in some areas provide more services, but the revenue that you have to do that is declining.
Well, yes, it is difficult. A number of cities are also working on economic development efforts and what we can do to grow jobs within our communities and set up a positive business environment so that we can move forward in these challenging times.
So talk to us about Independence. How long have you been Mayor of Independence?
Well, I've been Mayor of Independence since 1998, and it's a wonderful place, 8,600 folks. We're the end of the Oregon Trail, the former hop capital of the world, and it's a great, wonderful place, and I hope a lot of people would come over and visit us.
What are some of the issues in Independence specific?
Economic development is a really important issue that we're working on. We have a business incubator and we're trying to recruit industry. We have a real positive can-do attitude, so we're really working hard to try to provide economic development, provide jobs, and really support the citizens. But it is difficult making sure that we can stretch the resources so that we can provide the services that folks want, whether that be library services, police, emergency services in general. So it's the same, not just in our community, but the state and all around the United States.
Is budgets and revenue your biggest issue right now?
Yeah, that's what we're all facing, is how to, with declining revenue streams over not just this short term, but over a number of years. And there was a new report that just came out yesterday that shows that for the foreseeable future, income is not going to be up, and we're going to have to be in a declining services to communities or finding other ways to finance that. Expenses continue to rise, and there are going to be some really, really hard choices having to be made.
Okay. How long is the conference here?
We're here through Saturday evening.
You're the past president of LOC, it looks like.
Yes, I am. I was president last year, and it's really been an honor to represent the cities of Oregon. Let me tell you a little bit about the people who are here. Mm-hmm. The vast majority, 99.9% of all the mayors and city council members that serve the citizens of Oregon through their cities are volunteers. The only paid person is the mayor of Portland and their council and the mayor of Beaverton. The rest of everybody else is a volunteer, and so they squeeze this in. I'm using my vacation time today from my regular job to be here, and other people are doing the same thing. So what we have here is a very large group of committed volunteers that want to make their communities better, and they do it in a volunteer capacity each and every day.
You were past president of the League of Oregon Cities.
Yes.
And so you have some history to look at as far as retrospect what's going on. How has the situation overall changed? Money is a big issue, but as you look over the recent history in cities in Oregon, what's going on out there?
Well, we continue to struggle with what services people want. The national climate of polarization has made it a little bit more difficult. People are a little bit grumpier when they visit, and it's really important at the local level especially, because it's neighbors talking to neighbors. And generally, people get along pretty well and are respectful, but some of the national noise from Washington, D.C., sometimes we have to remind people that we all live in the same community, we all shop at the same stores, our kids go to the same schools, and we need to get along, and that's a really important message that I wish the folks in Washington, D.C. would learn from municipalities.
What's the theme here? This year's the LOC annual conference.
Well, the theme is, there's multiple themes. There's economic development, there's preparation. We need to be prepared for whether it be floods, earthquakes, or any other natural or man-made disasters. So it's about preparation, presentation of services to the community, and dealing with the budget challenges. In some ways, it's not unique. If you go back 100 years, we're looking at some of the same kinds of of issues, because what are cities about? We're about growing our community to be a better place, providing the emergency services and quality of life services that people want, and how do we pay for it? Those are the same issues that have been around for 100 years. They change a little bit, but that's what we do in cities. We serve the citizens of our community to make it a better place to live and raise a family.
John, closing thoughts.
Well, I'm really excited to be here. It's always wonderful for a group of folks that are so committed to their community to get together. We learn from each other, and the differences between small and large are very small. The decimal point on the ledger sheet may be in a different place, but we're all serving the same people in our respective hometowns, and we're all facing the same issues. The numbers are a little different, but the same concepts are, and it's wonderful to be with people who really care about the community.
One last question. What do you think of Bend as a site?
This is a wonderful location. We get the chance to, every 4 years, come back. We are in Bend once, then we up in Portland, Eugene, Salem, then we come back. And it's been a wonderful addition to be able to come over here to Bend. And the mayors and elected officials from Central Oregon have been just wonderful hosts. And we look forward to coming every 4 years here to the Central Oregon area.
We're talking to Keith Mays, who is the mayor of Sherwood and president-elect of the Oregon Mayors Association. How long have you been the mayor of Sherwood?
I'm on my 7th year. We have 2-year terms, so I've been elected 4 times.
What's the biggest issue affecting cities?
Long-term sustainability, and each community is different, but as a general whole in Oregon, it's the ability to have the revenue, to be able to do the planning for be sustainable delivering the services that are needed for communities. Basic services, police, fire, libraries, parks, streets, sewer, water.
Do cities get most of their revenue from local taxpayers? Is there any revenue sharing from the federal government?
Very little from the feds. There is revenue sharing with the state, with for lack of a better word, there's sin taxes, there's alcohol, tobacco, plus some gasoline tax sharing. But the vast majority of revenue does come from property taxes. Then for the utilities, there are utility fees, for water, sewer, and the like.
So what are you seeing? Are you seeing declining revenue from that?
With Measure 5 and the property tax limitations, basic costs are increasing at a greater rate than what your tax base can legally grow. Certainly, that's why cities promote economic growth, development. As you get more properties on, that increases your tax base to help cushion the blow. But certainly, when we're in the current situation, or any community that hasn't grown very much in the last few years, they're seeing real challenges.
Is the taxing structure, the limitations in Oregon, problematic for cities as far as costs are escalating for everyone, including cities, but yet you're limited on the amount of revenue you can get from taxpayers?
Correct. That is a bigger and bigger problem for cities, and the cities that are forecasting out in the future, it is a significant problem. So the only tool, there's only a couple tools available to cities, and we'd like to have more tools, ideally, just to give communities the choice, the direction, which option they take. You can fee your community members and businesses more, your families more. You can ask for a 5-year local option levy, but for police and fire, a 5-year local option levy is not a good solution, because it doesn't provide much comfort or certainty for those new employees that you recruit. Say, okay, we just passed this levy, we're going to bring you on, but you might not have a job in 5 years. A 10-year levy is much more attractive, or a change to the Constitution with regards to Measure 5.
Would you like to see that?
I'd like the conversation certainly to begin, when it really hasn't yet. It's an important conversation to have so that communities can be successful and meet the basic needs for communities across the state.
What are some of the other tools you'd like to see cities? Obviously, you'd like to see a little bit less restrictive environment from the state level.
Unfunded mandates from the state or federal level are very cumbersome. They're very difficult. Here you're already limited on what you can do with the revenue you have, and then you're given new requirements. Those new requirements sometimes are very, very costly. Communities are going to be facing a huge challenge with the new water discharge rules, and people have not gotten wind of this yet, and we need to review that again. It could be a real game changer, a budget buster for families and businesses that have to meet much higher, stricter standards.
Anything you'd like to add?
I really appreciate your interest in what we're doing with the League of Oregon Cities and the Oregon Mayors Association, and helping get the news out about what local government does for families and businesses.